Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Friday, the 20th day of October 2023, Friday of the 28th week of the year, the 28th week in Ordinary Time. We are finally back to just a regular daily day in the calendar and not a Martyrs Day or whatever it is. There are 3 martyrs that we had this past week. Back in Raleigh, it is a fait accompli. It is done. It is finished. The province of Our Lady of Guadalupe has been established, and so everyone left yesterday, so I made their way back to their various places. What dawns now and what future lies before us is in the hands of God, and then hopefully also in those who have been chosen to lead us. The interesting thing about when you establish a new province, you do not elect your leadership. It is appointed for you, so they may navigate the ups and downs of becoming one province out of 6. And so in 2026, we will go ahead and elect our own governance ourselves. So it will be an interesting couple of years. We do not know, again, what the future holds. Anything is possible now because there are a lot of people with a lot of different ideas. So we'll see what happens. But again, thank you for your prayers and for journeying with us as we went through these couple of days of becoming Our Lady of Guadalupe province. So back in Raleigh, again, the front door, the side of the Friary Rectory here, one lone little Halloween decoration, just trying to start something. So that's right there too. They are cutting trees on the other side of the building, so can't go over there that way, so I gotta go around. But tomorrow is also the Great Eucharistic Congress that the Diocese of Raleigh is hosting. Now there were I think there were 300 and something friars gathered at the Chapter of Unity, and liturgy had to be done for them. Now there's going to be over 5,000, supposedly, people who are going to attend this Eucharistic Congress. So that's going to take a lot more effort to see how that can unfold. So we're going to try and do that beginning today. But anyway, today's readings for today. Again, what does it mean to be righteous in the sight of God, I guess? So we continue with Romans, and the thing about Romans is the same thing about Hebrews, is that they can become highly theological, and it's theological from the standpoint of a first century writer like Paul, who understands theology and our relationship with God and our relationship to ourselves as the world in a very different way than we understand it in the 21st century. So it's kind of like navigating and trying to wade through some of the muck that kind of Paul does in his repeating and in the way that he stylizes his argument. And so the long and short of it is, what does it mean to be righteous? What does it mean to be righteous in the sight of God? Because we throw around that word again and again and again. And sometimes we think that righteousness, wrongly, is basically based upon all the good things that we do, the work that we do, the prayers, again, the devotions, and all those rituals and rites that we get involved in. That the more that we, are saying our prayers, the more that we are abiding by rules and regulations, the more righteous that we are. And in society's view, perhaps that's right. Because society likes law-abiding people who follow the rules and don't make any waves and don't make any, kinds of bumps or anything else like that, or tumult or anything else like that in the world. And yet, that is what Jesus constantly did. He constantly caused bumps and tumults and upheavals and all kinds of, overturned all kinds of things, because he was recognizing the fact that if we are just about trying to do and do and do and do, we will accomplish nothing in the end, because we lose sight, again, of the God, who gives us the ability to do what it is that we can do. And so Paul's question about what made Abraham righteous, well, it wasn't anything that he did. There's nothing in the book of Genesis that says, because Abraham did A, B, and C, this is why God chose him, to be the father of, Jews, Muslims, and Christians. And that's, it isn't because he did anything. It's because God saw in him an ability to trust and to believe. And that is what made Abraham righteous, an ability to trust and to believe, which you might think is very easy, in so many ways. We can just trust and believe and anything, but you can't. You can't. And it takes a lot to truly trust, to truly believe, and to truly follow. Again, especially what it is that God wants us to do and what it is that God asks us to do as people of faith in this world. It comes down not to what it is that we do and how many times we follow laws and how many novenas we make, how many devotions we celebrate, but what is it that we are allowing ourselves to trust in, What is it that we're allowing ourselves to believe in? And if it is in a God who always thinks about us, who always has the best intentions for us, who wants us to be happy and wants us to become the people God has created us to be, well, then that is enough. That is enough to be called righteous. That is enough to basically be that witness that we need to be in the world. That is equal. That is echoed in the gospel today, because in the gospel today, basically Jesus is saying, "Do you not realize how much God cares about you?" You know, again, the hair on your head being counted, and not a swallow falls in the air without God caring about it. Again, I see these kinds of things that God goes to great lengths to care about everything in creation. We might think that's impossible because it is impossible for us to care about everything, but it is not impossible for God because God is God. I mean, we want God to be something at one point, and then we want God to be nothing at another point. And that's a ridiculous way of, again, embracing our faith and living our faith and trying to be, again, the witnesses that God needs us to be in the world. To trust that God is capable of all things and that all things are possible with God is what this gospel is trying to, again, affirm in us and affirm to us, because sometimes it is so easy to doubt that, so easy to think it's impossible, so easy to not trust, you know, that our God can do what our God intends. Let us always try to be able to remember that, so that, again, our own witness of what God is capable of and what God can do allows us to be able to see the kingdom at work in our midst. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.